So once you have done the planning for risk management, the first real step in risk management is identifying risks. So how do you identify risks and what you do with all those identified risks? Let us understand that in this particular step. So the risk identification is a systematic and methodical process. So you do risk identification in a very systematic method. We will talk about that. The risk identification is done as a part of group exercise. So it's not that one person lists down all the risks, but it is a group exercise. People from different area, employees from different work areas assemble together, talk about the risks, look at the possibilities where things could go wrong or right. So all those risks are identified as a group. People involved in this exercise could be management, employees, sometimes even customer also gets involved in the risk, because customer also has a stake in your process. If it is a project, then ultimately this project has to go to customer, and if there is a delay on the project execution, customer suffers. So customer also becomes part of risk identification, and any other stakeholders which are involved in your particular organization, project or process become part of risk identification. All significant risks which could impact your organizational objectives need to be identified here. And once again I say, all risks which could affect your organization's objective, because risk itself is something which affects your organization's objective. So all those risks are identified in this stage. And one thing I will repeat here once again is, when I say risk, risk could be negative and risk could be positive. In the initial stage itself, we talked about two terms. One was risk and another was opportunity. Anything which is uncertain, which is undefined, which has probability is a risk. And this risk could be negative, which generally we call as risk. And sometimes this uncertainty could be positive, and we call that as an opportunity. So in risk identification, one of the important tool is brainstorming. In brainstorming, people from different group, different work area, different level sit together and talk about potential issues. What could happen which will affect achieving the objective? Because risk is anything which stops you from achieving your objective. So all those ideas, all those thoughts related to risk are shared in this brainstorming session. All the ideas, all the issues are recorded here. You don't challenge anybody's opinion there. You just record what each person has to say, what a person feels a potential risk is. So you list down everything there. That's how you identify risk, as in a brainstorming session. The other tools to identify risk could include going through your historical data, what has actually failed, what has actually gone wrong in the history. Those are also recorded. Few other tools could be used, such as Ishikawa diagram, which is cause and effect diagram. You can have a flow diagram to display the process. So from that display of process, from that flow diagram, you can identify what could be potential risk in each of those sub processes. And then you could even do SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunities and threat. So all these tools are basically used to generate ideas, thoughts, what could go wrong. And everything is recorded here in the risk identification process. And once you have listed down all those risks, what do you do with that? So you record everything in a risk register. So you have a risk register where you record all your potential risks, because after this you are going to analyze that which are the real potential problems which you need to attend to, which are something which you could ignore for the time being. So all that analysis will be done in the later stage, but at this stage in the risk identification, you note down all your identified risks in the risk register.